You can see it, right? You see this? That's 10 fingers, baby. That's 10 fingers, baby. Episode 10. Push it up, baby. Put that Diaz brother up there, huh? 10 episodes. Who would have thought we made it this far? We're already outnumbering half the podcasts on the planet. We're going to keep it going. Yeah. Chord, baby. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Woo. Couldn't ask for you know? Right. Okay, let's get rolling here. So, springtime. Got my spring colors on. What do you know about this seafoam green that we're wearing? Obviously, springtime's coming, so if you can't tell, I've got a nose disease because, the second the earth comes alive, pollen rips me to shreds. I got no chest, no nostrils, and I'm just finally getting back on my feet after a weekend of hell. But this happens every year, It's crazy, but seriously. Guy Harvey fish shirt, like what are we doing, Guy Harvey? I sell boats, baby. These guys fish, So I'm wearing my fish shirt, but hate to break it to you, I'm not fishing. I mean, I know how to, but I don't want to. Okay, so it's just about the spring colored shirt. I fished as a kid here and there, put the worms on and all that, but don't like doing it. You heard about the backyard. I want nothing to do with it. So I will wear the Guy Harvey, in essence, everybody at the marina and everywhere else, and all you guys that love fishing. I did it a bunch of times growing up, hated it the whole time, went deep sea fishing 3 times, was the only guy in the boat, never to catch a fish, and for some reason, I was thankful. Hand me a beer, I'm going to chill. You worry about the slimy fish that you're touching. So, that's where we get off with this. But we had to do the spring colors. We had to get it in there. So I'm going to be, misrepresenting what I do because don't fish, okay? But all you guys fishing and buying boats from me, hell yeah, get out there and fish, buy some more boats, and let's get things rolling. So thank you for 2026. Anyways, speaking of fish, my wife now comes up with this idea. She's like, I want a koi pond. And I'm like, well, if daddy's doing a koi pond, because they're cool, the fish swim around, it's nice to have like a little clear water, you see the guys, they're good luck, whatever they are. I'm not doing the black bin, okay? Too many shady homes I've been to over the last 20 years that wanted to be fancy, got koi ponds, put them in a black bin with a $9 bubbler, fish made it 1, maybe 2 seasons, froze over and died. So if we're doing koi, we're doing it properly. I'm digging trenches. I'm going to lay that thing with nice cement. There's going to be like wildlife plants growing in there, and then things going to survive the winter, and we're going to have it for a decade. So you 1 year, 2 year black bucket koi people, get out of here. You just murdered some fish for no reason. And it's like crazy that why just a koi fish? Like, why can't I have a trout in there? You know what I mean? Like, I get they're not as colorful. They're not giant goldfish that you win at the fair throwing rings on top of bottles. Like, here, let me get like the lesser version of a koi. Give it to me in a bag. I'll cry in 2 days when it dies. I mean, what the hell was that about at carnivals? Like, they want to give you like, here, throw these rings, or here's a baseball, knock down the hardest 3 bottles on the planet, and we'll give you a fish already suffocating in a clear plastic bag that might not even make it home. So all you have around town now is a bunch of 9-year-olds crying because the fish they won died. So carnivals, get it together. Find a longer lasting fish or start giving them away in tanks with bubblers and some food and everything else. But probably can't afford it. Somebody probably dropped off the fish at your little carnival and was like, give these away as prizes because they cost less than the damn stuffed animals. So carnivals, switch your prizes. Stop handing out goldfish, okay? bunch of dead fish all over the planet. Like you're like, wait, these are the ones they were going to throw out. So now they're just telling you it's a prize and you bring it home and you got to flush it down the toilet. So knock it off. If I win the ring toss or I catch the little magnetic frog, I'm going to be fine, but don't give me the dead fish. Thank you. Have a good day. We will see you next year when the carnival comes to town. Here's a dead fish in a bag. Thank you. So anyways, get your coins in a cement pond. But, my mother's been coming around lately and seeing the house and like helping with the kids and like, my wife told her like all the good shopping spots and like the butcher shops. So she brought her a roast beef sandwich today. She's like, oh, this is amazing. So the next time my mom comes down, she's like, I'm going to go to the butcher shop. And we're like, oh, cool. So yeah, go do your thing and we'll see you when you get here. She comes with a tuna sandwich. Oh, you wearing a Guy Harvey shirt? You don't buy tuna sandwich from a butcher shop. That's the one and only thing that they didn't cut themselves. You can get that at ShopRite. Get your life together. You buy that from the butcher shop, it's probably not even solid white albacore, which is the only tuna you should eat. You show up to me with chunk light, I'm pissed. That dark, gamey, shady part of the tuna that nobody wants. I only eat solid white albacore in water, not the shady oil. I don't want your wet $2 MCT oil that they put in my testosterone to be covered on my fish, and then it's like, I'm like slime fishing it through my sandwich, and then the mayo don't even mix on it right. So please, when you go to a butcher shop, don't buy tuna, and if you do buy tuna, buy it from the store, and make sure you get solid white albacore, preferably Star-Kissed or one that saves dolphins, and make sure it's in water, okay? Otherwise, don't bring your tuna around here, okay? Spend the extra 12 cents, get the solid white. I don't want your brown, your gray, oil-covered chunk light or dark chunk tuna. I can't stand it. Get it away. Mail it to Abu Dhabi. I want it like normal from Garfield. I want you to put it in a box because it's been annoying you all day. Tape it shut, and you better tape it good because you're trying to be the best box taper. Take that tuna, mail it to Abu Dhabi. Hopefully they start like a little clan around the can that landed, and then the whole empire will rise because you sent some food there and you helped those people out. But you saved yourself from bad taste, and you went and bought the solid white albacore and kept our economy running. So either way, you're feeding the world, but that's how you got to go about it. Oh, so geez, like yeah, get your shitty tuna away from me. Just the wild things that happen. So my mother, talks to my wife, quite often, probably way more than I do. And we bought her car from her like years ago. Okay, and my mother is obviously from like driving in the 70s. We got to change your oil like every 1,000, 3,000 miles now. Always, everything she says to my wife makes her paranoid. I tell my wife, you got to be wary where you get your information from because she don't know. She don't know about the car and how long the oil changes are. And she's like, well, it's going to ruin my blue book value and all this. And I said, yeah, by like $100. The car's 20 years old already. There's no fucking difference in the price because you changed your oil at 7,000 miles, which is what's recommended from the manufacturer, not 3,000, 7,500 to be exact. And then she's like, well, babe, I got to take her advice for it. And I go, do you forget who worked in the car world for 15 years, was the top sales guy around? Do you remember that guy? Do you think he's got more information than the bird lady that's telling you about oil change patterns from 1975 when there was a fucking shortage on gas? I don't think so. But can't convince my wife that. Don't go to the expert. Go to mommy. She'll tell you the info that she doesn't know anything about. And then I got to hear, because her car is 3,001 miles over, how it's going to explode when it's still got 4,500 more miles till you got to change the oil. And how I'm destroying the car life and I don't care about anything at home. And how I'm just a neglectful husband and I just, want to destroy cars rather than spending the $42 to get the oil changed. Hey, wait a minute, guy here, sold them, decade, who's the man, take my advice. You got 4,000 miles to go. Chill out. We'll get it done on Wednesday. I mean, just stop. Stop with the nonsense. The places that you people get information from, like, I don't even understand. Anybody could just yap something. And the internet's another thing. Like, why are you going to listen to me? Well, I don't know. But other guys will just buy nonsense constantly. You could tell them Barack Obama only had 4 toes, and they'll tell you for months that Barack Obama's got 4 toes. Where'd you get the information? Well, I heard it from here. Well, were you his doctor? Were you his podiatrist? Did you check his foot? You ever been a masseuse? Did you do a pedicure on him? Give me some sort of background information, not just you heard it through the grapevine. Compare it to something. Whatever happened to deductive reasoning? Like, I swear. Nobody, I could put shit together. I'm like Sherlock fucking Holmes when it comes to certain things. You give me this piece of information, and I could tell you probably with 90 to 98% accuracy what's going on in the story, or what's going to happen, or how things play out, or what the information means. Where are people's brains? Figure it out. I got to get Watson back over here, put my little crown, little derby hat on, click around, 1221, Baker Street or wherever the hell I lived, and then tell you that this is what is going down. There's little footprints in the sand. Somebody walked here. Hey, Barack Obama has 5 toes, at least from what we should know, because no one else is mentioning 4. So let me get Watson, somebody write a book, and let's go figure this out. Get to the bottom of it. But seriously, don't tell my wife that, the car's going to explode because you have, mileage numbers from 1973. What the hell is happening? So sorry, just coming off disease in my lungs and disease in my nose because springtime's here, so forgive me for that. But now that it's warming up, in the wintertime, we kept like the garbage cans in the garage because, snow would cover the thing and you'd have to shovel it out. And so it would just be easier keep the garbage cans in the garage. So now that it's warm out, I'm like, hey, we got this big bin out there. It started to get warm. You smell it, start to smell. You don't want to attract animals. Like, I don't want bugs. I don't like going out to my car in the morning. It smells like, hot diapers and, old albacore, old chunk like tuna from the sandwich my mom bought from the butcher shop in the garage. So, hey, honey, let's put it outside in the bin. She's like, okay. So I go to work. I come back. She's like, I couldn't get the bin open. So I just started putting the garbage in this, water-filled can next to the thing. She's like, I just couldn't figure it out. And I was like, you couldn't figure it out? You couldn't figure out how to open the bin shed thing that our garbage cans are in? I'm pretty sure if I let my 3-year-old loose back there, he'd have the thing apart and you'd be trying to rebuild it. It's a latch. So the only thing you have to do is lift and then lift. And then the door's open, the lid's open, and you got all your garbage cans in there. I can't figure it out. So me not wanting to explode and say, honey, 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 I just go, okay, hun, it's just a latch. Maybe you didn't see it, it's possible that maybe it was stuck from the wintertime, but I know it wasn't stuck because I opened it 2 days ago, so it's fine, but I don't want to hurt her feelings because I think I already hurt them enough with she does stuff like this, and I go, ah. So figured out, the garbage thing, because I don't want the smell in my garage when I go out to get my car in the morning and go to work. And I don't want to be like one of the plague mask doctors from from like the 1300s with the big beak nose. I don't want to be one of the bird people looking like I'm at a friggin' steampunk or like some sort of ritual for the occult because I got to go get in my car in the morning because now we got hot garbage in the garage. So I don't want to be a bird person with my little mask on, looking like I'm in a movie with Tom Cruise and they're going to kill the director afterwards because we're showing some of their sex scenes or whatever it is. I don't want to be that guy. I just want to go out to my car, get in there, not smell anything except for the fumes when I turn the car on to commit suicide after the smell because I forgot to wear my bird mask. So I don't want to be a plague doctor. No more going out to my car. So somebody please let my wife know, lift the latch, put the garbage outside so we don't get mice, raccoons, and snakes trying to eat everything in the front yard. And I don't have to be a guy, stuffing my nose with like oregano and like dandelion flower so I don't smell the death that's everywhere in my garage. So please help me out so I can make a noise and not be the bird person. Okay? I don't want to be a plague doctor. So, I don't, even back then, you get a doctorate, you never get a PhD. You just kind of had to walk around with a stick, poke people like he's dead and then he smells. So we're out of here. Anyway, so my son's birthday is coming up, so his grandmother buys him like grandpa too. They buy him like a little basketball hoop. They want to like set it up. So like they're hyped. I was a basketball guy forever. I'm like this is friggin' awesome. They're hyped over basketball. So like I used to like sleep with my basketball in my bed, and I was so excited that the kids were like, whoa, yeah, 10,000 points, and they're like, my daughter, like who I think is probably going to be the most like me. She's like, hopping around with the ball, so excited that I swear she's gonna run like the balls of her shoes out because and you think like bouncing for like 10 seconds is gonna be fine. No, it's like a 35 minute session of this is exciting. But that's like the most beautiful thing is like to see them get like that. So they were all hyped over the hoop, and it's like, this is awesome. And that's one of those dad moments that you're like, yeah, this is crushing it, but this is also why you got to crush it as a dad, because you want to be able to like, build a hoop for them that grandma sends down and then you blow the balls up so you could be their hero and then they could be hyped. But they so hyped for days. They all held on to the balls. They're walking around the crib just like, I got a ball. I mean, I wish I was that excited. I'm that excited that they're excited. So that's my excitement is their excitement. So I guess it trickled down economics, okay? Started from the top, now we down to the bottom. Wrinkle it down to me. That's how it goes. So I get the hoop out there, they're playing, they're having a ball, and that's all good and dandy news because now that it's springtime. But I come in, I just noticed the oddest things in my life. So I come in from putting the hoop out there, and like I'm in the kitchen area and I'm looking, and I got a tapestry. Okay, what type of person have I become where I now have tapestries? Okay, I am not an owner of a castle. I did not try to keep the warmth in from the cold stones in the medieval times and dark ages when I had an esquire outside trying to cross the moat with a non-existent alligator, really just a mud pit filled with shit. Those guys had tapestries, and now I'm one of them. I'm Tommy Tapestry. I'm Timmy the Tapestry Man. I'm Theodore Tapestry, Mr. fucking banging on your wall. What do we got going on? So my life has done a total fucking 180, okay? I have tapestries. So if you don't know what a tapestry is, it's basically like a cloth picture. Imagine somebody made a blanket and now it's a vase with flowers and it's hanging on like a brass rod and it's making your room look cute, okay? That's the type of person I became. But the tapestry really reminds me of a blanket you lay on the back of a donkey or back of a horse. You put it down before you put the saddle on. So for me, I'm like, for what is this? Why do I got a tapestry? Do I have a horse out back? Am I going to put it on his back? Am I going to, what am I doing with this? Put a saddle on, and then what? I'm going to be what? I'm going to become like, I'm going to get the donkey Pinocchio kid. Hee-haw, hee-haw. I'm going to just throw my tapestry around his back and just try to ride him around as his big tooth starts growing. Hee-haw, hee-haw. From the island of fucking Lost Boys or whatever the hell they call it. And then I'm prancing around on his back with my tapestry, and then Mr. Ed's like giving me compliments. Oh, yes, Wilbur, you've got a beautiful tapestry underneath that saddle on your Pinocchio donkey kid back. And I'm like, well, thanks. And then I turn on the radio, and it's Mustang Sally. And, Mustang Sally, better slow your old Mustang down. And we're not hitting the brakes. We're pulling back on the reins on this one because that is how it's going to be when you become Tommy Tapestry. So this is how off the rails we get when you find out you have cloth-made paintings hanging from your wall. What? Get out of here. Somebody come and kick me. Little tapestries in my life. Jesus, what is going on? We live in Crazyville. So this is news to me. So obviously professional here, not always in my beautiful spring t-shirts, but I like to shop at Men's Warehouse because they got button-ups and nice shoes and things like that. But I just found out they closed the store down here in Brick, and then they closed a bunch of other ones, and it's like, Why? Does people stop working? They're like, COVID, nonsense. I'm like, COVID was a decade ago or 4 or 5 years ago, whatever. But like, they're shut down. And I'm like, what, nobody goes to work no more? What, are you just wearing wife beaters out on a Wicked Wednesday, like water trips? Alliteration. But anyways, back to what's going on. But DXL, the big and tall store, they're thriving. They got 7X, but there's no mediums out there? What? I mean, I can fully understand because I was 4X Philip for a while, but now I got medium underwear and I'm 6'1". Welcome to America. But like, what is going on? Have we gotten so fat as a culture? I mean, I was once the fat guy that now regular stores for what used to be normal sized people don't got enough business, they can't stay alive, but the DXL is exploding. So now here's your stock tip for the week. Go buy DXL, Men's Warehouse collapse. Everybody's going to get fatter and buy more friggin' flannels from over at that store. So that's where you got to go. So please help the world and give me a store that I can go into and buy a button up that looks nice with my green khakis or my green dress pants that I wear because I'm super fancy yacht guy now. I got blue and green and I got to upgrade to purple and pink this year because we're going to get royal on you motherfuckers because we got tapestries. So we're going full blown, get the jester in the courtyard, color pants with the whitest of white shoes you've ever seen, and I'm selling you a yacht. And that's how it's going to go. Anyways, so my wife my wife was talking, and she's like, when I talking about my mother coming over, and she's like, oh, your mom showed me like this bag of lipstick, and I'm like, oh, okay, like where's this going? And she's like, some of it's like really old. She's like, this is from when I worked at the job in the 80s. And I'm like, well, why does she still have it? And she's like, I don't know. So I'm like, you're telling me my mother's got lipstick so old, dried out, that it's now chalk, okay? So maybe give it to the kids and they can get the last bit of life out of that lipstick as chalk for the blackboard that's in the living room next to the fireplace. So give it up to them kids, and hey, Ma, get rid of the old lipstick from the 80s. You don't need it. And then you complain about space in your house. You got a bag the size of fucking, the size of a cold cut lift that you got full of old lipsticks that you're not wearing. And why are you showing them off to people? You need room in the house? Get rid of the lipsticks or give it to the kids to use for chalk. Do something, but don't be keeping old shit like that. Only keep it if it's sentimental. But I'm sure magenta, fuchsia, Bausch and Lomb, whatever lipstick is not going to cut it. So get out of here, And speaking of my mother, so, obviously family ruckus, constant all the time. Nobody wants to listen to the guy because, hey, who am I? Just a guy. I'm the last line of defense. I'm the first on the front lines, and I'm also the guy you could just ignore and do whatever you want to. So my mother wants to got the kids bikes for Christmas, right? And it's like, okay, and these are the type of things that make me utterly insane. So she buys the bikes, and I'm like, maybe we should pick out the bikes. She's like, no, I got the bikes. I want to ride bikes. So she's like, and she didn't get already built bikes from like a bike store. She got cheap bikes from somewhere else, and you got to build them. So she says she hires this guy to come build them. And I already know the guy works for my mom, and I already know that like he doesn't give her the full effort because she annoys him, but she thinks they're best friends in the world, but whatever, let them live and be happy. So got the built bikes here. First 2 seconds, handlebars yanking around, things are falling off, chains are popping, wheels are wobbling, and I'm like, there's 3 of them because there's 3 kids here, and I just moved into the house 3 days prior. So there's boxes stacked to the ceiling, my bed's not even made, and now you're dropping off things that I gotta fix. And I'm like, why did you do this to me? So now it's middle of winter, things are going on. So obviously it's like April now. And she's like, you got to get them on the bikes, And I'm like, I still got to go back through and redo every bolt to the bike you did. But hey, I'm still getting house in order, still getting things fixed up here. Stop giving me chores. You're taking the joy out of it. I get it, you want the kids to ride the bikes, but I don't want them to die and get impaled on a handlebar, and now I got one lung Lisa for my daughter, okay? I like Sharky being Sharky. I don't want her to be one lung Lisa, okay? Because the handlebar cocked over, went through her rib cage, and then she got her toe lipped off because the chain wasn't on right. And now I got half breathing, toe hopping daughter running around town because you got $8 Billy to put the bikes together. Okay. So now I got shit to do. So, and then now on top of it, you're making me feel bad because you're like, I want to meet these moments. They're going to grow out of their bikes. They're not growing out of them in 2 months. They're 3. They're going to be tiny. It's going to be forever before they can even get on the rides at Great Adventure. Stop this nonsense. But then the emotional warfare comes in, the sad face. Oh, the poor kids, they're not doing this. They just learned to go outside 9 minutes ago. Stop making me feel bad. Now I'm not going to get other shit done because now I got to go back and do a safety check on the bicycle like I'm a surveyor for a yacht. So I got to call Kyle up and say, hey, come over here and survey this bicycle because I don't know what's going on with it. Here's $1,200. Tell me what's wrong with the thing. So before I invest my time trying to turn screws, I know what's going on. So I got to get a surveyor for the bikes that my mother bought. And then it makes me feel bad because it gives me sad face that I'm neglecting my children. So, hey, stop giving me sad face when really you making me get mad face, okay? So if you haven't noticed, I'm doing mad shit. Give me the time to figure it out. I'll be able to do it shortly. Stop riding my coattails about the bikes, okay? I don't want my daughter to die, and I also want you to be happy, so I will get the bikes together, but please don't call me up every week, every day, every night, and yell about the bikes, because I'm gonna take the bikes and I'm gonna burn them. I'm gonna light them on fire. I'm gonna solve the bike problem. And then let my kids stare out the window like, what is my crazy dad doing, looking like a Nazi book burning, but it's just Huffies that are out in the front yard lit up, waiting for the town to come give me a ticket for burning rubber. Okay? So that's where we're leaving that with the bicycles. Get off it. I told you don't get helmets. You got helmets. Now I'm pissed. So I don't even know what's going on. Let me have a calm. Let me get to the point where we can enjoy the moment teaching my kids to ride bikes. I really appreciate getting the bikes, but hey, seriously, don't make this a problem for me. Okay? So I obviously just had Easter like a couple weeks ago. Now, I don't know why I'm still talking about Easter 2 weeks later, except for the fact that my wife sends me a text of an open foil. Like, you know, the foil that they would wrap around an egg. And I'm like, well, what is this? And she goes, well, this is from the Kinder Bueno egg. And I go, okay, why are you sending me a picture of the rolled out foil? I get it. There's a bunny on it. What's the deal? And she's like, well, you know, they were kind of shady. And like, she's being so vague. I'm like, this is through text. I'm at work. I got 3 guys in the yard bouncing off boats, and she's sending me foil pictures. So I'm like, all right, so what's going on? She's like, well, it's Kinder. There was no cream in the Kinder. So I'm like, it's a Kinder No Bueno? Didn't want to go back to Foodland, but my wife sent me a text, and that's where it was. So Kinder, hey, all your stuff is about the cream on the inside. Please do me a favor. If you're going to sell something that looks like a Cadbury egg and you're going to compete with the Cadbury egg, put your Kinder cream in there, okay? Because now my wife's disappointed. She knows how I am about food, and now I'm getting texts because of your unrolled foil with your empty hollow egg. So that's shady. Don't call it a Kinder Bueno unless it's got your hazelnut cream in there, the little things with a little spoon, a little toy pops out. Unless there was a toy in there, you can get away with the cream. But there's no cream in there, figure it out, okay? So I'm done with you scamming me for all that nonsense. And speaking of people in the boatyard, I don't know what is going on. Who gets a job at a scam facility? Oh, if these could turn into real guns, I would put it on both sides, pull the trigger, the bullets would hit inside my brain, they'd ricochet all around, and I'd be totally brain damaged and dead before I hit the ground, because I want to know what you do with yourself, scam people. So now I get people calling for boats, and they're not really calling, they're emailing with the most shadiest emails ever, like P95765. No one has that email, okay? At whatever.com. And they're like, oh, I like the boat. Hey, I've sold hundreds of boats and yachts. No one approaches me with, I'll send you a check right away, you know, yada, yada, yada. Because we know you're trying to scam the boat. Like maybe we'd be dumb enough to let you pick it up. So like we just, oh, he gave us a check. It's all good. We're going to let 300 grand, 400 grand walk off the lot. Are you kidding me? You're wasting your time, pal. Has that ever worked in the history of America? If it has, I want to meet that guy because not falling for it over here and you're wasting your day. Dude, just go get a job at Walmart. It'll pay out better. You'll climb the corporate ladder. Do something, scammers. Get your shit together. What are you typing little messages to me? Like, I'm sorry. The only thing I can do is a check. Hey, it's 2026. The same company that gave you the checks can do the wire. If you're not scammy, go send the wire. And first of all, you don't even know the hull or VIN number or anything. You haven't signed a contract, but you're trying to send me a check. What are you talking about? Who falls for this shit? So scammers, get your life together. And also, if you're going to scam, don't take so long to respond. Hey, if this is your job, bro, be the best at it. I told you last episode. You want to scam? Scam hardcore. Don't wait 8 hours to respond to me. Hey, I'm a fish on the hook here, but I'm Guy Harvey. So answer my thing quicker. Half-ass scammers. You're not even good at your scam job. Like, get your shit together, bro. Fuck, what the hell is going on this planet? You know? I mean, speaking of the Guy Harvey shirt, so just to let you know, just to let it get popping, this is a little loose because I'm still getting skinny. The SP's on the way. But, like, I used to hate the guy in the tight shirt. You know, I'd be like, what's up with that guy in the tight shirt? I used to not like the guy. And then I became tight shirt guy. So now, if my shits ain't tight enough, I'm pissed because I want to show off the work I've been doing because I am a little bit of Carly Simon, okay? And Carly Simon, I think, actually wrote the song for me because I walk onto a yacht, and I'm so vain. I mean, Jesus, you could look at this meat. I swear, you could this is like a toboggan run, how veiny I am. So when Carly Simon calls up and goes, you're so vain, you probably think this song is about you. You're so vain, so vain. You walked into a party like you're walking onto a yacht. Yeah, she wrote the song about me before I was even born yet. What premonition did this woman have? Because daddy is veined up. Whoa, we're getting even veinier. I'm just gonna, my skin's gonna go away. I'm just gonna be one fat blood vessel walking, walking around. So tell Carly Simon, send me her copy of her record. I'll sign it, I'll autograph it, I'll send it back to her and say, here, I'm the future guy you wrote about. Here's your thing on the yachts with the veins. So there you go. So Carly Simon, get your shit together. I'm here. You found me. You prayed for me. Premonition. You wore your little bird mask thing to a cult meeting, and I appeared. So you did your job with your black magic and your Kabbalah or whatever. So here you go. So just, tight shirt guy, that went off the rockers. But yeah, tight shirt guy, I am now that guy. Used to hate the guy, but hey, you can hate me now. I hope you do hate me now. And then I hope you become me and you go, you know what? Now I like that guy. I like that tight shirt. And that's all for me. And that's what I'm becoming. So totally whacked out here. Tight shirt Tommy. Yeah. So come to find out, like I said, we're shopping around for butcher shops and all that. We like to get the good meats because the store meat's garbage. But anyways, so my wife finds this German butcher shop down here and they make their own sausages and everything else. So I'm like, hey, she's like, do you want it over here? I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, yeah, get some bratwurst and some knockwurst and let's get a couple different things. And she's like, well, how do you cook it? I'm like, well, babe, it's a sausage. You cook sausage all the time. She's like, I know, but that's Italian sausage. And I go, yeah, but still sausage. You can cook it the same way you cook the Italian. In fact, they used to have wars with each other, the Germans and Italians, the Rome and the invaders and the barbarians coming in. And I'm sure they traded recipes at some point when they weren't killing each other. So there's probably a lot of the same things in the sausage. I'm going to go with pork. Yep, has that. And I'm going to go with, yep, it's in a casing, and yep, it's shaped like the same sausage you cooked, but she, for some reason, is scared to death of the bratwurst. Is it edible? What do I do with it? How does it go about? I'm like, why are you having a fear panic attack because it doesn't say Italy on the sausage? Like, it just says bratwurst, which probably means Italian sausage in German. So just cook the damn thing like you do the other stuff. Put it in our pressure cooker, blast the skin open, let's slice it up, we'll throw it on rolls, and we'll have a freaking great time of our life. So wife, stop being scared of sausages that aren't from Florence or Milan or whatever the hell, or from Rome, you know. Like, let me name every city in Italy. But sorry, getting over death disease here. But speaking of death disease, so I don't know about you guys at home, but like, yeah, I'm TRT, Tommy Tough Guy. But when I get the flu or a cold, I'm a bitch when I'm sick. I am whiny. I don't think my kids love me. I think I'm going to lose my job. I think my wife hates me. I am like the whiniest bitch in the world when I get sick. So, and I know that other dudes out there are like that. And the other part of you is like, why am I such a whiny bitch? I guess because you're not like full blown running at full steam. The sickness does something to you. But it's like, at this time I got sick and I'm like, I'm not going to be like that. And I still was like that. But not to the extent I was when I was fat. When I was fat, I was much more bitch. I guess because now I got my testosterone in me, I could balance it out a little. But still, I'm like, don't you love me, honey? Like, because I guess maybe it's a man thing. You don't feel like, you're up to fighting standards, when you're sick. But I wasn't even feeling good enough to do the podcast, but hey, I roughed it out and I'm here for you. Stuffy Nose Simpson blasting out episode Diaz for you. So, so for the first time, like my wife for some reason would, I guess because of the kids and the busyness, I'd be sick and it'd be less help or something, but she was finally nice to me, for once while I was sick and like actually let me rest. So like I would come home, I had shingles and shit like a year ago and like was dying, and she'd be like, you're not helping anybody. Get your life together, you garbage bag. I hate you. And I'd be like, I'm dying over here, babe. Like before we even knew I had shingles, like she's like, you're a piece of shit. You don't help. You leave me stranded, and would just yell at me. And it would be like days I was supposed to be at work. So like if it was Tuesday, I typically wouldn't be here. So why don't you just imagine I'm not here, but I'm upstairs in the bed. Never let me live it down. Okay. So for this time, for some reason, she was nice to me. Hey, babe, love you, thank you. And I felt weird about it because she's never really nice to me. Trying to kill me with cups and whatnot. But it was nice. I think we're, even though we've been on and off for like 30 years, I think you still grow in your relationships, like with your wife and stuff. Like I love her to death. Like we'll battle. Like we battle, two people together, like with children and lack of sleep and working hard towards stuff, like, and I got a sharp tongue and I'm really witty, and I think that she's emotional and she just gets upset, and it's like sometimes we'd be yelling, but it's like no matter how bad we yell, like we always come back to each other. Like I don't know what it is. It's like I fought with other women before and I'm like, I want to get the fuck away from her, and I just can't. For some reason I fight with my wife and I'm like, this sucks. I just kind of want to be with her. So it's like, it's a weird dynamic, but hey, if you got that in your relationship with your girlfriend or your wife, where it's like, when you fight with them, you're like mad because you're not spending like good time with them, I think that's a good thing. So, try to get that figured out, working with your wife and all that. Because I love her to death. And I think you think after so much time, it doesn't. We're still growing as a couple. We still are learning about each other, and it's beautiful, man. And the family, the kids, it's all great, but me and her are watching this movie, the Civil War or whatever. And like, she's like, well, if the Civil War breaks out, like, I'm not shooting a gun. And I've been trying to like get her to like go get a gun with me. And like, I want her to shoot. I want the kids to like be prepared for war, because hey, shit's going to happen. Wars break out. Something's going to pop off in 20 years. And I want to be prepared. So she's like, well, in 20 years, like I'll be like 60, 70 years old. And like, I'm not shooting a gun yet. And I'm like, she's like, it's probably the kids' age will be better for like that. And I'm like, what are you going to be like on the sidelines at 70 being like, hey, you young whippersnappers, you and your civil wars, don't bring that around here. I'm like, no, honey, somebody's taking pot shots at Gigi. You're going to be like, give me a gun, I'm going to kill them. So I'm like, then why don't you just get ready? why don't you go take a boxing class and, go learn how to fire a gun. So when the war breaks out, you're prepared to survive. And then we could run up to Vermont or whatever, where there's moose, and I'll just like chop trees and we'll live in a cave. Maybe there'll be like, hot springs there, like a thing, but, but whatever. So I got to get her motivated to like be more prepared for things that happen in the world, because she's sheltered and thinks that nothing will ever happen here in America, which I guess is kind of a cool thing. Thank you, America. But also don't lose sight of what could happen to you, So that's that. I got to train my wife to be, John Wick, kung fu wife, whatever, gung fu wife. Get her rolling. So obviously, Daddy's on like the fitness journey, TRT for life, health optimization for life. Keep it popping. I'm gonna say it 100 times. My buddy Rom calls me and he's like, "Yo, man," and we talked about this a couple months ago. He's like, did I hear you talking about like shooting needles out of your belly like a porcupine and all that? I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, what is this? I'm like, the peptides, bro. And he's like, I already told him about like the TRT and all that, the testosterone, and like to get optimized. And he's like, but guys are on the fence about it, bro. They're like, oh, I'm gonna have heart attacks and die and all this. I'm like, hey, I was 400 pounds, blood pressure to the roof. I was already dead. Okay. I'd rather be healthy. And also, heart's fantastic now. Numbers are fantastic. Health numbers fantastic. So all that old propaganda from like the 80s that you're going to be dead if you try a steroid, get out of here, okay? It's saving lives. They just didn't want strong men. Now we got strong men. Let's get them back. So, hey, get on it. Get moving. Change your life. Make sure you go to your doctor. You do it the right way. But like, yes, get on there. So now, obviously, Poppy's still building up, veining out. Carly Simon's coming to town, but I'm Sammy Stretch Skin. I got so much stretch skin. I'm like Poppy Stretch. I don't know what I'm doing over here. So I got like these lotions. I got to try to thin it up because underneath, obviously, the SP's coming. And if you don't know what the SP, that's the 6-pack. It may be an EP, like an extended play CD, but that would be the 8-pack. So one of the things we're going to do is just get the meat going. But I got to get rid of this fucking, umbrella sack I got hanging off the front of me. So it's a minor problem compared to being hefty shin sack, whatever the hell I was, an overflowing garbage bag human. But now Sammy Stretch Skin's here and it just is a little bundled up. I look like a grandmother and I'm 43. So, but the crazy part is, that once you break through like the threshold of like working out, when I say the threshold, it's like a 4, 5, 6 week window where like, you're like, oh, should I be doing this? I gotta go. Like, and then it gets to a point where it's like, you hit this little climax point, you pop over and it's like, now I want to now it's like, if I miss, I feel like a piece of shit. I'm like, oh, I was sick the last couple of days and I'm like, I can't work out. And I'm like, angry about it. I'm like, am I going to fucking not get as jacked as I wanted to be in the next couple of days? Am I going to fall apart? I don't feel good. Like I want to feel like I'm working and pushing my body and like doing all that there, but it happens like mentally to you. So if you guys start this, you go down that journey, like really like, get on the TRT, get some peptides, consult a doctor for it. I'm not a doctor, no medical advice here, whatever, but I know what it's done for me and I know what it's done for other people I know that's on it. So I would go that route, but like it happens to your mind, like just your confidence boosts up, like your drive to like, come down and like want to work out and like do these things. It like gets huge, like, because this journey towards 6-packville has been fun and I'm going to get it. I'm going to get rid of this empty skin bag from when I was stretched out this far. I couldn't even fit in the chair I'm in now, But that's what we got to do. So I'm going to keep it up. Get on it. If you guys want to call me, I'll set you up with the doc. Let's go. Let's help her business. Let's get things moving. Let's rock and roll there. But sorry to jump all over the place, but back to springtime. So my son is just starting to learn about like, seeds and plants and things like that. And like, he doesn't get it, but he doesn't know how farming or planting works. So, I mean, also happy he's using his imagination because he didn't have one for 4 years, but now he's got one. But he's like, I just planted a seed. And he's like, tomorrow, Dad, we're going to go out there and we got to like get the cucumbers off the thing. And I'm like, okay, buddy, like I'm playing along with it. And like, but I think he's serious. Like, he thinks it's gonna grow tomorrow. And I'm like, he tells me he planted a tree and we're gonna eat the fruit tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, we'll do that, buddy. No problem. Being dadding it up with him. But then like he gives me this look like, wait, the apples aren't going to be on the tree tomorrow. And I'm like, no, bro, it don't work that way, pal. Like, you got to plant the tree, or apple tree. You need like 6-7 years. And I'm like, your cucumber is going to take at least a couple months. So, and I don't even think you had seeds really in your hand. And I don't even think it's the right time to plant them yet. You probably kill the seeds and a bird will eat them. The plague mass bird guy will come around and eat your pumpkin seeds. So whatever you're doing. So the other thing he's on right now is that he's been watching Peppa Pig, right? And I guess like Peppa Pig is like going camping, and and then he like includes me in the story. And he tells me like, yo, we're going camping, like, we're going on a holiday, like in an English accent. We're going on a holiday and we're going to vacation and our camping. And he's like, he's learning how to like ask to like want to do stuff, but he's like, we're going camping tomorrow and that's what we're doing, right? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, pal. But it's like, it's cold and like we're ill prepared for this type of adventure. But like, as the dad of me, like, all right, I want to like do this with him because I used to go camping and stuff. But I was like, all right, I'm like going to do this for him. And I'm like feeling bad internally, but then I'm like thinking about it. And I'm like, I'm going to go out there and start putting the tent up. It's 37 degrees out. He's running inside and, I'm out there with a tent. No one's going to deal with. Now I got to clean it up. Now there's bugs in that tent that we got to use when it was really warm out when we could do it. So I'm falling victim to Peppa Pig propaganda. And then he makes me feel bad that I'm not doing kid shit. So I'm having a war inside my mind. Am I being a good dad or am I being reasonable and logical? Because don't want to let him down, but also realistic. I know you're running back inside because you do it when I take you outside now. You're like, oh, there's a slight wind, I'm going in. So, and it's like 60. So you got to toughen up a little bit there, soldier. And then, come June, we'll do the camping trip, okay? In the backyard, we got a fire pit. I'll go to town, marshmallow you. I'll sleep out there with you guys. We'll have a blast. But in the meantime, don't make me feel bad about not freezing to death in your Peppa Pig propaganda, okay? So, stop the emotional warfare on me, kid. You're making your dad feel bad because your dad loves you, and maybe you're taking advantage of daddy, but maybe daddy's crazy for thinking that, but it is what it is. So, springtime's here. We're getting it popping off. Things are getting fun around here. We're teaching people to line up, get jacked, daddy, get paid, get veined out. Get crazy. Get it in there. So I want to say thanks. 10 episodes, baby. Who thought we'd get here so quick? We are pumping out the shows. Slow and steady wins the race. We're already outnumbered everybody else. Everybody says they love it. We need to grow. I need followers. I need shares. I need all that stuff from you guys. So if you're having fun here, you want more of it to come, let's keep it rolling. I want to try to get to like 70, 80 episodes by the end of December. Crack that 100 threshold. We're going to start getting, I just know it because we're winners. We build, we go, we believe, we have faith. God is rocking with us. This is going to grow. Thank you so much. I can't believe we did it, guys. Yeah. Springtime shirts. 10 episodes, baby. We're going ham on these motherfuckers. We're doing it late nights. We're banging out 2 episodes a week now instead of 1. We're keeping it moving. Algorithm got pissed off because we did the easy thing, but now it's slowly and steady coming back. We don't care. We just keep our head down. We keep focused. We ride with the tide, baby. Ride with the tide. So get that shark on your back. Get that shark going, baby. Let's go eat some prey. People Podcast. 10 episodes in. 10. Let's go. Love you. Like, share, comment, spread the word. Let's represent. Woo, baby.